Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry that my hair is a little messy. It kind of gets that way sometimes because, yeah, it just gets that way. It gets puffy some of the time. But basically, I wanted to return to you for this movie review for Weird, the Al Yankovic story. This movie review that I'm going to be doing for you guys. So basically, I just wanted to do this review because I'm still a little behind on movies to get caught up on. And sorry, I'm looking at my phone for a second. Just making sure. Yeah, Yankovic story. I was making sure what it was called. Weird Al. This is the Weird Al movie, the Al Yankovic story. So I'm gonna discuss what I watched for this hour and 47-minute movie and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this movie review. Now, basically, Daniel Radcliffe stars as Weird Al, and basically, I wasn't impressed with this movie too much. I think the story was, and the premise was very mixed up with the movie. Like, there were some things I could understand with the movie, like, okay, so he plays an accordion and makes parody songs. That's fine and all, but sometimes it gets weird with him. So basically, Daniel Radcliffe's playing as him. The actual real Weird Al Yankovic is playing in the movie, but he plays as a record label uh, guy or whatever, the guy that signs contracts for him and all that. So basically, yeah, this movie was meh. It wasn't very good in my opinion. I know the story gets exaggerated and they come up with made up shit for this story just to poke around jokingly, and it just ruins the movie's reception in my opinion. So it didn't flop per se, but the story gets a little bundled up with what the real story is about Weird Al. And there's some things that I could understand with the story, but then they were poking around jokingly with certain stories, like, oh, he's has to like fight these Pablo Escobar men or whatever. I'm like, that must have been made up. That I don't know. There's probably not truth to that or anything like that. So I was a little concerned for this movie's reception and basically just the way it turned out. I wasn't that pleased with it. I think it was meh. It's gonna be on my okay to meh movies of 2022, so you'll be seeing it at the end of the year list and all that. So overall, in my opinion, I think Weird, the Al Yankovic story, um, pretty sluggish of a movie, but Daniel Radcliffe did perform very well as Weird Al. But the problem with this movie is some of the premise got mixed up. And sorry about that ding, that's my Xbox or whatever. My controller batteries are dying and all that. So basically, it says my batteries are low. But basically, overall, in my opinion, I think Weird, the Al Yankovic story, was meh. I'm in the middle with this movie. Basically, I just don't know what I think of this movie. I think they really over exaggerated some plot holes in the movie that kind of ruined the reception of how the movie's gonna turns out and all that, and they make it seem like Weird Al dies at the end of the movie. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't know. I think they poked around with it too much and made it to the point where it's like a comedy slash suspenseful thriller kind of movie and all that, and made him seem like he was a hero fighting Pablo Escobar's men and all that. I don't know. They over exaggerated the truths a bit too much and twisted it around to make it seem like a good movie, and I'm like, it's not that good of a movie. So, for a score for me, I'm giving Weird the Al Yankovic story a 6 out of 10. It was meh. It's almost bad, in my opinion, but hey, they did something with this movie. They joked around with it too much, and that's where the comedy has its flops in this movie. Like, some of the comedy's alright, but if you add too much and poke around with the storyline and all that, and furthermore, they even make Madonna a drug deal lord or whatever, a drug cartel lord. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's just stupid. So the movie got a little ridiculous, in my opinion. So 6 out of 10 for me for Weird, the Al Yankovic story. It wasn't my favorite movie, and I don't think I'm going to remember this movie too much, so I'll probably forget about it. But it's going to be on my okay to man movies, so it's a man movie. It's going to be at the lower list of my okay to man movies, so you'll be seeing it on that list. So with that being said, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the Al Yankovic story, if you've seen this movie. And if you enjoyed this movie review that I did for you guys, keep in mind I'm just expressing my own opinion on this movie. If you don't agree with it, that's perfectly fine. You are entitled to your own opinion on what you thought of the movie. But I just wasn't impressed with the performance of the movie and how they twisted around the story to make it seem like it was the truth. And I'm like, that's kind of ruining the movie a bit. But the performances were not bad in this movie. It's just the script was a little wishy-washy and just didn't perform too well uh, with the script overall. So the script that was written for this movie, I think they poked around and made fun of the story a bit too much. So that's what ruined the reception and killed the movie a bit, in my personal opinion. But it's a man movie. The performances were the strongest part of the movie, but the script wasn't that much. So it's in the middle with me. And sorry about whistling too hard. If you did enjoy this movie review I did for you guys this afternoon, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can to support the channel. Like I said, this will be on my Okay to Man Movies of 2022 video, and I will be starting that video on the 4th. So I gotta get caught up with some other movies. Next movie is Dear Zoe, and then after that, I'll be moving on to the November 18th releases, and then the Thanksgiving releases for movies like Devotion, Glass Onion, and so on and so on. I know Bones and All is another movie I gotta check out, but I heard a lot of bad things about that movie. Not good things. So I'll check it out for myself, see what I think of it, and give my own personal opinion on it. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this movie review for Weird, the Al Yankovic story. I did the best I could to make it as good as possible. Stay safe. Take care, guys. And Dear Zoe movie review will be tonight, so definitely tune into that. And as always, I will see you in my next review.